Right, we're here today to pick up some beer and cider because I want to test the alcohol content. Not because I don't trust the label, but because I want to show you how easy it is to do this test step by step. Let's go. First stop, basket. Because this is science and science needs containment. Now, finding the alcohol-free section always feels a bit like a mini quest. Past the snacks, through the fizzy drinks. Ah, there it is. Plenty to choose from, lagers, pale ales, the occasional wheat beer. I settle on a Doom Bar 0% amber ale. It proudly boasts none of what we're testing for, which is exactly the point. 1 down, 2 to go. Next up, something mid-strength. Not too wild, not too watery. I head into the main beer aisle, shelves of IPA and craft cans trying very hard to out-design each other. Eventually I land on a 3.4% session ale. Perfectly acceptable if you're pacing yourself or recording a YouTube video about lab testing. And now, the strong stuff. I head further down the aisle to the cider section and scan the shelves, trying not to look like I'm about to start a party for one. The cider section delivers. Thatcher's Vintage, 8.3%. That should do nicely. Drink secure, it's off the checkout. Quick scan, bag up, and we're done. Right, drink secured. Let's go bring these to Andrew and see how we test them. Right, I got you something.
Okay, let's have a look what we got. Some cider, quite strong. Beer, ale, nice. And some alcohol-free beer. Oh. Thank you very much, George. I'm assuming we're not here to just drink these.
No. I was hoping that you could show us how to test these.
For alcohol content?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fairly simple one to do. So yeah, let's grab them. Let's go down to the lab and we can get a GC set up and we can run them. Yeah,
sounds good.
Right, okay, so first thing we're going to need to do is calibrate the GC. So what we need to do that is produce a series of calibration standards. So what we're looking at here in alcohol content is basically ethanol in water. So what we have here is analytical grade water and pure ethanol. So what we need to do is just make a series of dilutions. So we have lots of different samples of known concentrations that we can then basically compare our beer and cider samples to. So what I've made up here, this is a stock solution of 10%, effectively the same as a 10% beer. So what we've got in here is got basically 1 ml of ethanol, 9 mils of water. We then take that one, dilute that down by 10, that gives us a 1%, and then we dilute that one down by 10, and it gives us a 0.1%. Then from that, we can take these different stock solutions and dilute them down to make a range of different concentrations. So we've got a 10%, 5%, 2%, 1%, 0.5%, 0.1%, 0.05%, and 0.01%. So I'll just make these last three up and then we'll calibrate the GC. Okay, so here what we're just going to do is decant some of the 0.1% stock solution that we made up into a sample vial. We don't need to do any dilution on this one because it's already diluted right down to where we need it to be. Then for the final couple, we've added the correct amount of the 0.1 solution, and we're just diluting them down now with water to get them to the right level. Then we can cap them off and we're good to go. Right, they're made up, so we can use those to calibrate the GC. Next thing will be to prepare the actual samples. Okay, right, so now we need to prep our real samples. So we'll start with this one, crack it open. There we go. And what we're going to do is just pour it into this beaker here. Now we're going to have to pour it back and forth between these two. What we want to do is basically get rid of all the CO2 and try and basically make it flat. So we're going to just take some of this sample and put it into as well, and that's literally all the sample prep you need to do. And we'll label that on as sample A. Prepped now, and what we're going to do is just load them into the sample tray, ready for analysis on the auto sampler. Right, we'll load them onto the auto sampler. We'll get this all set up. We can leave this to run overnight, then we can come in the morning and take a look at the results.
24 hours later.
Okay, samples have been run. We've got all the results now. So the first thing that we're going to do is take the results that we got from all of those little ones that we diluted down to make our standards and put them into a calibration file so that we can use that to compare the results from the real samples against that to see where the alcohol levels sit. In here, we've basically got all the different results and we've been importing them. So we have basically each chromatogram will produce a peak, and what we're doing is looking at the area under that peak and effectively adding that to a table. And what we're doing is we're building up a calibration. So if we come in here, so what we can see here, 0.1%, 0.5%, 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, and this is the area or response that it's given. And then it plots them on a big graph for us here. And we can see down here we have a correlation factor, which is 0.99999, which basically indicates that it's a lovely straight line, so we've done all of our dilutions correctly, and we have a good calibration, so we can now take this and apply it to the results that we got from the real samples to see what we get for them. I'm going to print those out and we're going to head upstairs and have a look and see if what they say on the label was what we got.
All right, so you've got some results for us.
Yes, right, so I've printed them all out and I guess we'll just go through them one at a time.
Okay.
So let's start with sample A, which was the cider. So
yes.
This one gave us a really nice big peak here.
Yeah.
And applying the calibration that we just did to that, it gave us, rounding it to the nearest decimal point, gave us a result of 8.3%. So what was that one?
It's 8.3%.
Spot on, perfect.
Perfect.
Sample B, you can see we got a very, very small result, which will be the alcohol-free one, hopefully. Yeah. And again, that one gave us a result of 0.02% alcohol. So
yeah, and it says 0.0.
Perfect.
I mean, it's perfect.
Alcohol-free. And then the last one, which will be this session ale, gave us a kind of medium peak. And the result of that one came out at 3.4%. And that one was
3.4%.
So spot on. So there you go.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, if we can get down to, what was the one, 0.02.
Yeah, so when we did our calibration, our lowest point there was 0.01. Typically when you're looking at how low you can go on a chromatogram, you're looking at the sort of level of noise, which is sort of the tiny waves you get on the signal. And you're typically looking at going sort of at least 3 times bigger than that, and we were well in excess of that. So yeah, we can see really certainly down to the 0.01%, no problem at all.
And then is this something like if brewers of kombucha and things like that, they could use the same?
Yeah, literally anything's going to be the same. The same principle applies. The main thing to take into account is just what range you prepare your calibration standards over. Yeah. Obviously, we did it over quite a big range on this one, which is fine because...
Well, we went from 0 to...
Yeah, to 10%. Yeah. And that's one of the great things about the sort of GC and the FID detector in particular, is that it's very nice and linear over that sort of range, so you don't get any problems with that. But I think hopefully this kind of just does show, it's not that difficult to do.
No, and it looks like it'd be quite simple for a brewery to set up and put into their workflow, I suppose.
Yeah. So there's not too much that you would need. So you'd obviously need a GC, the software integration, a small amount of sample prep kit, so some pipette,
Yeah.
the standards, so some ethanol, some analytical grade water, some vials and bits and pieces, a syringe. You don't have to have an auto sampler like we have. You can manually do the injection. Probably best if you have somebody come and set it all up for you, obviously. But once it's all set up, you're going to need to have some gases to run the GC. But beyond that, yeah, pretty simple.
Perfect. Well, I mean, so that's how you test ethanol in beer for your alcohol content in beers. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more. And if there's something you think we should test next, let us know in the comments. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.